Hey, good evening and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday evening edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist Corey Thompson. It's been a pretty chilly day once again today. That's despite sunshine. That northerly wind really did cut into our temperatures, at least how it felt. Yeah, we had our first wind chills of the season, probably at least of note over the past couple of days, but we will be turning things around. That's the good news. If you're waiting for warmer temperatures, they will be making a comeback relatively soon. I will also preview the events that are coming up this week. Meteorologist Joe Winters has a look at your forecast for fun and some more stuff in a little bit. And meteorologist Hannah Messier has this week's edition of Weather Wise asking about rain. No rain in the forecast for now. What you need to know as you step outside this evening is just more chilly weather. In fact, we're talking about a hard freeze overnight. If you didn't experience those temperatures below freezing last night, you're likely to tonight, as temperatures will fall pretty efficiently under clear skies and light winds. But we'll turn things around starting as soon as tomorrow, but more efficiently as we head toward the weekend. That's when temperatures get pretty significantly above normal. No rainfall as noted, though. Precipitation still almost entirely lacking on our 9-day forecast, but we will show you when some could try to sneak into our forecast picture coming up in a bit. But the freeze warning for tonight is really our big headline over the next 12 to 24 hours. Temperatures falling below 28 degrees, which is kind of the line we set as what is defined as a hard freeze. That happens by tomorrow morning. Several hours before that, conducive to frost development. So you'll want to cover up those plants or bring them inside if you want to protect them before you go to bed tonight, as those temperatures will be falling pretty quickly. Wind gusts, though, will be turning the other direction tomorrow. Instead of being as strong as they were Monday and Tuesday, yeah, still in that 10 to 20 mile per hour range, which is not uncommon this time of year, but we will be facing that there. Now, our temperatures over the next few days turn warmer. We'll dive into the details of why and how warm they get for their warmest over the next 7 to 9 days coming up in a bit. But first, as promised, meteorologist Joe Winters has today's forecast for fun.
Chilly conditions, it feels like fall, and there's a lot of fall activities we love to do. You still can get out, though, on the bike and enjoy it, and really, Wednesday's not bad. Friday and Thursday, some southerly winds you'll deal with, but with temperatures upper 60s, 70s in the afternoon, still can make for a nice time to get out on the trail. As far as fall activities tomorrow, we'll be chilly in the morning with 28, 53 at noon, 56 degrees at 6, but it's quiet, so you can plan something throughout the day. Don't forget Wednesday, it's Dining with Zombies over at Lion Bridge. That's a 6 to 8 o'clock. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10. Perfect for the zombies to come out with temperatures down in the 50s and 40s. Mount Vernon has a big chili cook-off on Saturday. You get 25 tastings for $20 or $1 each. Grilled cheese, beverages as well. Big bags tournament in the afternoon in Mount Vernon on Saturday, looking at 73. And don't forget on Saturday evening, it is the Not Out of This World Parade. Newbo to Czech Village route starts at 6:30 to be broadcast live on KCRG 9.2. Looks like a great night for the parade with temperatures at 6 o'clock as the parade kind of steps off at 60. Becky Phelps and I will be emceeing the parade live on KCRG 9.2. Also on Saturday is the Fall-A-Day Market at Lau Park in Marion. Crafts, home decor, yummy treats, seasonal greenery, produce, and holiday items. It runs from 9 until 3. Temperatures stay at 73 degrees, and our kickoff forecast for our football games looking good as well. It looks like a fantastic week for some fun in eastern Iowa. That's why we give you the forecast for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Corey Thompson.
Sun has set across eastern Iowa, and we're about, let's say, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes away from your opportunity to see that comet that we've been talking about in our western skies over the next couple of hours. Good evening to try to see it. It's going to be about 25 degrees off the horizon. So if you hold your fist out like this, that's about 10 degrees, they say, from the horizon. So about 2.5 of those off the bottom of the sky. You'll be able to see it. It's faint, so you may need to use a camera or binoculars to help. It's just south of due west, so take a look in the sky later this evening. It's Comet Atlas. It's got a full name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, though, at this point. Temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s, so if you are going to check out that comet, make sure to dress warmly as you head outside, as winds out of the north between about 10 to 20 miles per hour, also adding that extra chill. Now, as we go over the next several hours, winds will get lighter, but skies stay clear. That will promote the development of frost and likely a freeze as we head toward the latter portion of tonight into tomorrow morning. Temperatures hanging out below freezing for multiple hours. And that's the type of weather that can do damage to plants outdoors. So for freeze warning in effect. This is the first one of the season in terms of a widespread hard freeze. Last night, some folks did get below freezing. Cedar Rapids got down to 29 degrees, but likely falling even a little bit cooler than that tonight. So expect a cold start to the day on your Wednesday. If you do want to protect those plants, best bet is to bring them inside. If they're in pots, just take them indoors if you want to keep them going for a little bit longer into the season. If you can't, of course, if they're planted in the ground, you do need to cover those up. Use a light blanket or a cloth or a bed sheet, something that's not overly heavy and going to weigh those plants down. Drape them as loosely as you can. Avoid using plastic covers, and once things warm up tomorrow morning, make sure to take those covers off during the day. Now, it's actually pretty much in line with what you might expect for our first freeze. We've kind of highlighted this the past couple of days here, where we are actually a little bit behind schedule for the first freeze in Cedar Rapids, Dubuque, and Waterloo. Iowa City closest. Yeah, we've just been pretty spoiled with how warm things have been so far this season. Satellite radar shows a different picture than last night. We were tracking a batch of clouds moving through. Tonight, there are none to be seen. And it's that lack of cloud cover earlier in the evening that's going to allow things to fall even further. In combination with an area of high pressure right on top of us, that's going to keep our winds pretty calm tonight. That's all going to play into that good likelihood of a hard freeze. Now tomorrow morning, much like today, we're going to start with sun. So we'll see those temperatures begin to warm up. And this area of high pressure that will be centered just to our south tomorrow morning, you can kind of see its clockwise wind flow around it, will start to move to the southeast. And when it does, we're going to get those winds coming from the southwest later tomorrow and eventually due south as we head toward Thursday. And that's really going to promote warmer temperatures making a return. Now tonight, your first alert forecast, 24 in Charles City, 28 in Prairie du Chien, 27 in Washington. So no matter where you are, you're unlikely to escape those very cold temperatures. Tomorrow afternoon, though, a little bit warmer than today. We're talking 62 in Charles City, 59 in Dubuque. So there is hope, and it will be seen here on the 9-day forecast where we'll get back into the 70s, perhaps in some spots as soon as Thursday. Many of us by the weekend. Overnight lows will be in the 40s and even close to 50 degrees by the start of next week. Now, there is a slim chance for a little bit of rain on Monday night, but then temperatures turn even just a little bit cooler next week. Not expecting a big drop off, though, not quite as sharp as what we're experiencing right now. Now, meteorologist Hannah Messier taking a look at today's weather-wise.
How does rain form?
Thank you for that question, Charlie. Now let's get into it. So rain forms pretty much because of the process called the water cycle. Now we're going to start the water cycle off first with precipitation. That's when the water droplets in the clouds get too heavy and they fall back to the ground either as rain, snow, or sleet, depending on the season. That water then falls to the ground and goes into our rivers and streams, or in puddles or in reservoirs in the ground. We'll call that runoff. Now the plants, the leaves, the grass, the trees, that'll all soak up the water, but once that water has been used, it'll eventually get back into the atmosphere, kind of leaving the plant and heading back into the atmosphere through a process called transpiration, which is pretty much sweat, but for plants. Then we have evaporation. Evaporation is when the water in the lakes, the streams, the water in puddles on the ground, that just goes right from the earth back into the atmosphere, of course, through that process of evaporation. Once that water gets high enough into the sky, it cools and condenses back into a cloud. And once that cloud gets big enough, the raindrops in it get heavy enough, it once again falls down as precipitation. As always, you can head over to kcrg.com/unews to submit your video question to WeatherWise, and we'll answer it here on Weather Now.
Thank you, Hannah. And yeah, send those questions in. We really would love to see them. Thanks, Charlie, for sending that one in. It was a great question. Now, we do still face that potential for freezing temperatures tomorrow morning. We really have been highlighting this over the past few days, bringing that first alert to it. Freeze warning, likely the last of the season now, since these temperatures will kind of make an end to that growing season and less concern going forward. And so future temperatures that will dip into that range where frost or freeze conditions are likely not to see those advisories and warnings be reissued. Now, Thursday is when we really start to turn things around. 69 degrees for a high comes on the heels of southerly winds, which will be stronger. Thursday and Friday, both feeling those on the warmer side of things, but they actually turn quieter in time for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, those winds out of the south, not as big of a factor, and that goes with some very comfortable temperatures too. 70s on Saturday and Sunday. That's good news there. So it looks like a really nice weekend to get out and about. Now, Monday night, we told you about that slim chance for a few showers. Notice how little precipitation, after being a fairly widespread area in the plains, makes it here to eastern Iowa by later Monday night. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in a dissipating phase by then. So we are not particularly hopeful for much precipitation across the area during that time. Unfortunately, it's another week that we start off with a 9-day forecast that looks pretty dry overall. Temperatures generally above normal as well. By the middle of next week, even as we dip into the low to mid 60s, our normal highs will have slipped into the upper 50s by then. So we'll still be ahead by several degrees, even as things turn a bit cooler. So yeah, if you're looking for that persistent fall-like weather, it's not quite here yet. We'll sort of go back and forth for a little while yet, it looks like, at least at this point. Thanks for joining me this evening on First Alert Weather Now. We'll be back here tomorrow night, same place, same time. Have a great rest of your night.